Hello, property nomads. Hope you are well. We've got to talk about Ireland. We've got to talk about them limiting freedom via restricting free speech potentially in that country. There's a lot of issues in the last few years about going down the Orwellian route, 1984. By the way, if you've not read that book, please do go and read that book. It is phenomenal and so true. However, everything that's been going on, the left trying to protect freedom, or that's the banner they're trying to use, and it's absolute pure and utter nonsense. It really, really is that this is the avenue that the left want to take. And Ireland, I've only ever been to the Republic of Ireland once. Phenomenal place, really good. As an English person, we've committed a lot of bad things in that country over the years, and it's so much so to an extent where the Irish kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and got freedom, etc., etc. That's all in the past, and they put up a big fight, etc., etc. And now Irish Green Party follows what many of the left are doing around the world, and have decided to go out for censorship and speech controls. And there doesn't seem to be much of a fight in Ireland to try and get away from this. And I find that almost ironic in the grand scheme of things. But this is the path that we are going down. This is a path we've been going down for quite a while. Why? Because that's all part of the bigger picture. It's all part of the picture of this massive Malthusian cult that's already in place, and it's going to come our way with even more force further on down the line. Because what they want to do is, again, it's a case of slowly take away your freedom and do it under the guise of protecting you. The reminds me of Franklin quote, Benjamin Franklin. I believe he's quoted as saying this: "Those who surrender freedom for security will not have, nor do they deserve, either one." So all of this is happening under the guise of freedom, and we're here to protect you. No, you're really not. It's just like climate change. Okay, now World Economic Forum 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. You're going to be eating bugs, etc., etc. Oh, and maybe we'll just play on the climate change card in order to. Maybe you don't actually need that car. Maybe you should have an electric vehicle instead. Oh, you don't need your gas boilers. Don't worry about keeping warm. We've got you covered. Come and rent these blankets. All of this sort of stuff is slowly, slowly, slowly happening. The best thing though, in the last few years, is all us tinfoil hatters, myself included, other people that I listen to as well, we've been proven right. That's the thing. And to me, it seems like the left, the others, they don't accept that. They don't want to hear that. So they've got to come up with a bigger policy, a better policy, in order to keep us quiet. Because our freedom of speech, as in calling out what's actually going on, it's the benefit of this channel and what we talk about on the property side, the mortgage side, and all of that stuff as well. We know that we're pushing the right buttons. We are making tracks because we know what we've said over the years is bearing fruit. It's coming true. But the others don't like that. So in order to do that, they need to paint us tinfoil hats as the bad people and get us to stop doing what we're doing, even though we're spilling the truth and they're spilling all the lies. Let's look at all this hoo-ha around medicines over the years. Now, at the time, it might have seemed like a good idea. I remember saying to various people, no, it's not. And you're not going to catch me doing that anytime soon because it's all untested. It's all a rush to push things through, etc., etc. Now, I'd like to think that it's not about me being right and them being wrong, but that's the way it's leaning at the moment. Now, the truth's coming out a few years down the line about, well, maybe it was a bit rushed and etc., etc. And now they want to ban speech. The mind, it boggles me. But this, again, unfortunately, is what's going on. I got a great article here on Zero Hedge. Let's pop over to it. So yes, we are restricting freedom for the common good. No bueno. So the Irish Green Party, following many lefties around the world and coming out for censorship and speech controls. Again, this is just completely Orwellian. It's unbelievable. And if you've not read 1984, please do. The legalization that would criminalize incitement to violence or hatred against people with protected characteristics, as well as condoning, denying, or grossly trivializing genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes against peace. I mean, it's so laughable, it's unbelievable. Because now, if they're talking about wars and they're talking about Russia, Ukraine, or things like that, or far right events, again, let's have a look at what's gone on in the last few years. We've effectively seen pretty much a worldwide social experiment that has killed off millions of people. Now, if that's not a genocide, I don't know what is. If that's not a crime against humanity, I don't know what is. NATO are committing crimes against peace. Why? Because they're continually wanting to expand closer to Russia's borders, to annoy Russia, to cheese off Russia. Now, if that's not a crime against peace, I don't know what is. But then those people like myself that are pointing this out, we're the ones getting done for. And we're the ones ironically getting censored because apparently we're the ones condoning the left committing crimes against peace, crimes against humanity, and trivializing genocide with all the experiments that they've done in the last few years. This is where the irony is not lost on me, and it shouldn't be lost on you either, because this is where it gets really dangerous. Because they're trying to bring themselves across as being the good guys. They're really not. They're trying to bring themselves across like that, but it's just not the case. And this is where you've got to push back. This is where I've got to push back. This is where we've all got to push back and go, no, enough is enough. No more. Stop doing this, because it's hypocritical at best. I don't even know what it is at worst. It is dangerous at worst. It will just get you thinking, and it should get you thinking that this is a sort of world that we're living in. And why am I getting annoyed by this? Why am I getting upset by this? It's because it's morally, it's not right. It's so hypocritical. It's unbelievable. And it befuddles me that a country like Ireland, and say I'm not Irish, it befuddles me like a country like Ireland that would go through centuries of oppression from the English, and they would, continually fight up, end up with, Republic of Ireland, etc., and whatnot. And they, something like this bill comes along, or well, it just seems like they're all rolling over, getting their bellies tickled, and they're going to happily sail it through. That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I urge you, if you listen to this in the Republic of Ireland, please stand up to this, because this is dangerous. And the article carries on anyway. The anti-free speech movement has become openly Orwellian in claiming to protect freedom by limiting freedom. Again, the irony is unbelievable. It also employs using terms like disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation to obscure their effort to silence those with opposing views. So again, this goes back to what we said. I'm not going to sit and repeat absolutely everything. That the point is that if you want to go out and criticize the massive social experiment that's happened in the last 3 or 4 years, because that's what's happened, you're going to get censored. Your disinformation, if you're spilling out stuff about the medicines over the last few years, oh no, it's a giant social experiment. How dare you say that? That's unacceptable. That's not the case. That's disinformation. But again, point being that us tinfoil hatters, us people that have got our eyes wide open, more and more down the line, we're becoming even more correct. Such bad English. But time is proving that we are correct. What we're saying that has happened has actually happened, and then we're getting labelled as people that are supplying disinformation, where the very people that are producing medicines in the first place, the very people that are wanting you to own nothing and be happy. Very people that are pushing borders unnecessarily to provoke people to undertake invasions, they're getting away with all this. It's one rule for one and one rule for another. Never, ever, ever, ever let your government tell you that limiting speech is a way of protecting democracy. It's absolute sheer and utter nonsense. We're on a dangerous path with this. We're on a very slippery slope because of the sheer level of hypocrisy. And people, unfortunately, are just absolutely lapping it up. And it's unacceptable. This is also where you need to protect yourselves, protect your friends, protect your family. This is why we're producing these videos, to really push out our message, to really push out the right message and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we've got to do to protect ourselves. This is a dangerous path that we're on. We need to tell as many people as possible. Please share this channel. Please share this video with as many people as possible. Get that notification bell button thing pressed. Get as many videos as you can. Get as much content as you can. Tell as many people as you can about the channel. We've also got a podcast, Property Nomads. We deep dive into this stuff as well, along with property. Please go and subscribe to that. It's on your iTunes and wherever else you can find it. The message is important. Just go back to that quote, supposed quote from Benjamin Franklin. Those who surrender freedom for security will not have, nor do they deserve, either one. We'll see you in the next video.